The following segment is sponsored by JetPro Packers, Travel Life Essentials, where luxury meets utility. TSA Ready, brand name toiletries curated for the modern traveller. Available now on Amazon and jetpropackers.com. Please like, share and subscribe to this channel.
Minister of Finance and Public Service, the Honourable Audley speaks about achievements under his ministry. Welcome, I'm Ian Boyne.
We're proud of the work that we have done in this first year. We have certainly stabilized the economy. We have brought things in a situation where the interest rates have continued to trend down. Not fast enough, because I still want commercial bank lending rate to go sub 10%. As I did in the first time around as minister, I brought mortgage rates under 10%. Now my new mission is to bring average commercial bank lending rates under 10%. So we haven't reached there yet. Inflation has been managed very, very carefully down. In fact, this past calendar year, 2016, we have had the lowest inflation at 1.7%. The lowest inflation since 1964, when the Labour Party was also in power, of course. And we've also have net international reserves at a pretty good clip at about $2.6 billion US. Gross reserves are over $3 billion United States dollars. So we're not short of foreign exchange. And in that context, we welcome the fact that our exchange rate has stabilized over the past couple of months. And we want to invite all the participants in the foreign exchange market to together let's work and keep it that way. Because in keeping our exchange rate stable, it allows business to be able to plan better, to make more predictable, positive decisions for good outcomes in terms of investment and in terms of trade and so on. This requires constant monitoring, and I'm pleased that we were able to put together a working group to work along with the Bank of Jamaica to ensure that there's a flow of information and to give the assurance that A, there's no shortage of foreign exchange, and B, we have the backup arrangement with the IMF should we need to have further access to foreign exchange.
And that decision of yours has produced concrete results.
Concrete results. And in fact, the last time we've had that kind of stability was ironically when I was Minister of Finance in the 07 to 11 period as well. So we need to keep that way. Then growth has pretty much returned, not to the level we expected yet. We wanted to have 2%. We might be coming in just under 2%, but at about 1.6, 1.7% by the end of the fiscal year. Now, it is in line with our target because we did target 1.7%. But I just was being more ambitious to expect maybe 2% growth. But what we have to do now is to continue to put in place those things that can create impulses for growth. And I'll give you a couple examples. Our now famous 1.5 plan is part of our growth plan. And it's part of our growth plan because we made a decision to move away from direct taxes to indirect taxation, because we believe that the workers on the income tax PAYE system were carrying a disproportionate burden of the taxation in the country. I mean, just about 1/4 of the working labor force, the employed labor force, was in fact participating in PAYE. So we achieved the phase 1 in July, a new threshold of $1 million. And we will be implementing phase 2 in April 1 of this year, where we'll get to 1.5 million. Some will say, well, how has this helped growth? It has. I can tell you revenue is up. To the end of December, we had exceeded our revenue targets by about $17 billion. And we expect that this buoyancy will continue through the rest of the fiscal year. And I looked at some of the numbers just this morning. And you know, in Parliament, I always said that our strategy is to give, take and give, you know, rather than a previous strategy which was to take. And if you think like a market-oriented person and a capitalist, as the labor rights think, the issue is you give some, and guess what? Both PAYE, ironically, has grown in terms of the revenue expectations, and consumption taxes have grown. I can tell you, in the Christmas season just gone, merchants tell me it's the best Christmas season they have had in years. Why? Because we were gradually releasing $12 billion into the economy by way of transferring those funds keeping those funds into the hands of the workers. So at Christmas, they had more purchasing power, they were able to spend more, and guess what? We earned more in general consumption taxes from that expenditure.
So your overall comment on your year as Minister of Finance, briefly.
The overall comment is this, because we can't be, you know, we have to understand that we have to create a foundation and a framework within which we want to invite everybody to come with us, join with us in a program of moving from poverty to prosperity. Jamaica is suffering from underdevelopment fatigue for too long. The previous government, with all due respect, had presided over, before we came into 2007, had presided over 18 years of growth of about 1% or less per year. My predecessor, Minister of Finance at that time, presided over 14 years of growth at 0.8%. So the country is in an underdevelopment, low growth, no growth fatigue. So now, in moving from poverty to prosperity, the challenge is this. You're not going to achieve prosperity automatically overnight in your pocket. Prosperity can only be achieved where, first of all, our thinking has to change. Our thinking about ourselves, our thinking about how we comport ourselves, how we talk to one another, the kind of examples that we provide for our children, the need for us to nurture and protect our children, and don't just give lip service to the concept of taking a community to raise a child, right? We truly have to begin to be exemplars. Every worker in Jamaica, the opportunity of the 1.5, every worker should say, you know something? This extra $8 or $9 or $10,000, or by April, $18,000 more in my pocket each month must be used as an opportunity for me to take stock of my own participation at the workplace and say, hold on now, maybe one of the things I should do is give back by being a more productive worker at the workplace. Public sector workers, for instance, make a commitment within the context now of public sector transformation and reform that we're about to undertake. Our public sector workers must say, hold on, let me try to see how much more productive I can be. How much more responsive can we be to the needs of the private sector? If something can be done in one day, for God's sake, don't let it take 1 week or 1 month. I mean, it's a whole new paradigm of thinking that we need if we are going to go on that purposeful path of moving from poverty to prosperity.
Thank you very much, Minister. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, the Honorable Audley, talking to us about achievements under his ministry.